All right, welcome back to the Main Beam Podcast. This is going to be episode 27, so we're rolling right along, but we're getting into the summer months, kind of slowing down on some things. A lot of people have a bunch going on this week, so we're kind of short-handed.
There's not very many people in here tonight.
No, me and Brady had our birthday on Monday. Getting old these days.
How old are you now?
25.
We got a new young pup in the building
I
now.
know, I'm about over the hill.
Halfway to 50.
Halfway. Well, yeah, me and Brady added together makes 50.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, so we're getting there. Quarter of a century. But anyway, we're shorthanded, so it's just going to be me tonight and
Spencer Mertens.
Spencer, and then we got a special guest in the building.
Special guest, but we'll get into why he's actually here. But
yeah, absolutely. So we got Jeff Szumigala with us. So
Zuma or Shuma?
Szumigala.
Shuma.
Oh,
it's
whichever word.
Don't leave me up to saying I'll just say
it's
Jeff.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he just forgot the S.
I shouldn't even try to pronounce it. All right.
You should have said,
He's pretty close,
Jeff.
though, from what I've heard.
My name is Jeff.
If I ever had to pronounce names, I'd be like the Key and Peele thing or whatever when they're talking in the classroom.
Teacher. Yeah.
Oh, Shaq Hannessy's office.
Hey, Ron, get up here. Yeah, don't leave me in charge of names. It would not be good. Or trying to spell any names.
Yeah, we're just going to do a short one tonight.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more of just some storytelling, a little bit of talking just deer, some stories from the past, just kind of a random one until we get everyone back in. I think we got several guests lined up for the next few weeks, so it should be
pretty good.
Yeah, it should be pretty good coming up. I think we'll do some fishing, some like fall or summer prep for deer season as we're switching over to it. I know you've got cameras out already.
I just got a couple of them that I haven't taken down yet. I'm probably just gonna.
Oh, I thought you put some new ones up.
No, I just pulled the card the other day.
Oh, all right. Well,
because I put it in late, and I wanted to see if there was turkeys up there, and I probably should have put a cell cam, but I didn't.
I got you.
And then turkey season came around, and I just never went and checked it. Because on my lunch breaks, I was running by properties anyway.
Yeah, no, but I'm going to try to get all my cameras out probably by July.
Yeah.
So, heck, we're already in June.
June. There's a bunch of people that got them out already.
I used to put mine, and I used to run them all year. But the problem is, anymore, especially on those two locations that I put cameras on, in a month's time, there'd be anywhere between 15 to 20,000 photos.
Yeah.
And, as expensive as batteries are with Joe Blow Biden up there. Last year we were paying for the lithiums $14.97 for 4 of them. And
they're still 12. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. I just got Reconixes last year.
Yeah, so. If I had to talk to my bank and ask them if I could put cameras out with batteries, they'd probably recommend me not doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I wish there was a different way to do it, but they have a solar panel now. But that's,
yeah, they do. I need to look into some.
I think
of
they're
that
like $120 some bucks a piece.
But deer are growing well, but I'm just gonna wait until from July to August is about the perfect time. Which some deer are growing faster than others, but
yeah,
I always like putting them out around July 4th, and then I'll check them again by August. And really your best pictures obviously would be like August to September,
Which I could see why people put them out because they like watching, from the nubs forming out. But that costs money.
Yeah. I used to do it, but not anymore. So probably gonna hold off for a little bit. But we've gotten a lot of good rain. Hell, corn's already. I seen some corn today that was waist high.
Yeah, well, mine's not even in the ground yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, of course, we've had so much rain. A lot of people are replanting areas, too, because it's been flooded.
Yeah, the farmer, I talked to him today, and he's like, yeah, maybe Saturday, but I'm not sure. Still wet in the bottom.
Which I wouldn't complain one bit about that.
I'm not complaining.
It'd be in late.
Yeah, it's going to be December, end of December before he picks it.
I've seen our farmer before have hundreds of acres of corn still standing at the end of January.
Yeah.
Like completely season after,
So I wonder why he does that, because the deer are just absolutely destroying that.
I don't care.
Well, I know you don't care, but I'm just saying though, like he's losing so much corn.
Yeah, I don't really know why either. Well, probably because there was 2 foot of snow on the ground and it was still in when I was up there at the end of season. But it could have just been. He also could have. There's plenty of reasons. I mean, he could have had broken equipment or whatever else, but that was
didn't have time.
Yeah, I don't know what he ran into. Had some health issues. I don't know, but that's probably the latest I've seen it in. But he hasn't had it like that since. I kind of wish he would.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it also, though, like whenever you leave that much in, it also kind of hurts too, because they just, by that point of the year, they just bed in the middle of it. Won't move, like I like standing corn, but I'm talking like 4 or 5 acres here and there where you can mow paths and kind of like I try to knock a little bit down at a time where they get feeding on it. When you're talking, I think over there he has 750 acres. You got to even say you have 300 acres in of it, like it's kind of the deer get in the middle of it, no move.
Yeah, I think my spot's gonna be pretty good this year. I'm hoping. I mean, he's cutting some of it for silage and picking some of it and
leaving the rest.
Yeah, I kind of put a bug in his ear about leaving some in certain areas and trying to direct him to keep the corn standing on, closer to my food plot than.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I guess that why we're on that subject that I could tell a lot of people too is you always hear people or say like, oh, well, you've hunting over corn or you have standing corn or beans or this and that. And it's like, you don't necessarily have to have the equipment to plant it yourself. Like certain areas are for like you, for example, you're hunting a farm that like, you got permission from the farmer and, or you lease it, and then he obviously plants all the ground. But a lot of times you can either offer them money to like leave some of it standing, or I mean sometimes you can trade them. Like last year, I
did hay bales for a food plot. I mean, pretty much traded him what he would lose in crop, and got to put in turnips and radishes.
And I mean, some farmers may not be up for doing it, but it never hurts to ask. And some of them just helping them. If you offered, or maybe they need firewood cut or anything, like sometimes you can literally trade work to help them leave the grain. Like I feel like a lot of people don't know or don't realize, because obviously we're not out there filming like, oh, Spencer's cutting firewood for the farmer today. Like we're not out there filming that stuff, but like they don't realize all the work that goes into like actually getting what
making a good connection. I mean, like last year that tree was out in the middle of the cornfield. And I just said, hey, there's a tree down. I'm going to go
cut it up.
Yeah. And I cut it up and I drug it off, and he didn't ask me to do it. I said, hey, there's a tree down. I'm going to go do it. And if I asked him what I could do to help, his answer would be kill more deer. Yeah. That would be his answer. That'd be my way of helping him.
Yeah. And sometimes that's one thing too, that, checking in with different farmers, because obviously, I mean, we don't care that the deer are eating their crop, but that's obviously, the farmers out there, a lot of them don't care about deer hunting. They just know that the deer are putting a dent in their pocket. The more deer that are eating their crop, the less money they're bringing home at the end of the year.
Exactly.
So, a lot of times, I know different ones too that want different deer killed, but that's not necessarily, go shoot every buck you see or whatever. There's no problem with going and shooting 5 to 10 does, even more.
Yeah.
And
that's like I told him. I was like, hey, we're probably going to get you on some does this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing too that we always do. Like, I'm not necessarily saying like kill them all yourself. Like I've had different people, or sometimes we do different things, or like even a youth, like we find there's always young kids. It's like, I actually know someone was talking to me about it the other day about, hey, like what youth programs do you guys, that you guys do? They're wanting to get like their kid into it. And I'm like, I don't do any youth programs at all, or like I know the conservation does some, but we just like we take people ourselves, like I'm not a part of any kind of program at all. I just love hunting enough and like taking someone else to go. But like that's a good to start off with, like a doe or whatever, like a place that the farmer wants deer killed. Yeah, take someone young in there to shoot their first deer or a doe, or there's so many programs out there about to like donating the meat and different things. Or I always know different like some older people that just don't get out anymore or whatever, and that want deer, and just call them, say, hey, would you like a deer before I go hunting? Obviously,
Yeah.
Hey, would you like a deer if I go?
Oh, you don't go kill it and then just drop it off on their doorstep.
Start calling people.
Start knocking.
Hey, if you don't want this deer, it's gonna go bad.
Drag it up to their front door, ring the doorbell. Hey, remember that deer you said you wanted?
Here it is.
Yeah, here it is. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm grateful with the farmer that I've been dealing with for ever since before I turned 16.
And a lot of them guys are very willing to like work with you as well. If you're willing to work with them, they're willing to work for you.
Well, like the spot where I have my food plot, 9 times out of 10, it floods and it destroys their crop. And in that certain section, they can't get a machine back there. So here, even though, I'm taking away a good year or could be a good year of crop in that corner, I'm paying him for that corner.
Yeah.
To where he didn't have to worry about it. If it floods, he doesn't have to worry about
he's
lost
still got
crop.
his money.
Yeah, he's still getting money for it.
In reality too, he's probably still got the area in insurance or whatever.
Well,
so,
yeah.
I mean, it's 1 acre.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what. And that just depends on how much you're willing. Obviously, I bought crop back from a farmer and stuff, but I'm not necessarily saying like if you don't have the money to pay for it, like there's ways to see what you can do to help them out to like make your money for it, what I mean?
And not every farmer is going to be okay with it, because then they got to get a machine back in there,
right,
and brush hog it whenever they don't want to be on it anymore. But it just kind of depends on who you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that it doesn't never hurt to ask. I mean, we never would have gotten to where like you are now if we wouldn't have asked.
I mean, I just kind of figured in my head it's going to be a no, but I asked and he kind of was all for it.
Yeah.
And then that's why this year I was like, well, I'm just going to, see if he's for this, and maybe next year I might be able to get a little bit more, and it may be, by the end of it I may be able to buy quite a bit of crop from him and just leave it standing all year.
Yeah.
But
that would be awesome. But
I don't know if it's going to happen, but you don't know until you
even
ask.
if it didn't happen, like just what we got now is way more than we had before,
Oh yeah, I mean, heck, I was just used to hunt over just a cornfield. You know how hard it is just to hunt over standing corn?
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't even
you can't see
or nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally hunting over a row or two is about all you can see.
Yeah, we're hoping something busts out the side.
Yeah. Or walks down the edge of it, and then at that point you're shooting straight down.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm not going to take it for granted.
Yeah, that's same with us. I mean, on our farm.
Yeah.
I try to buy it from the farmer, and and there's years like last year we didn't buy any, but
that is because it flooded, right?
Yeah, he lost a lot last year in like different flood, and like when the creek got out and stuff, and so it wasn't the best anyway, and I didn't end up buying any.
He didn't. Did he brush hog it, or did he do anything with it though during deer season, like rifle season?
Nah, he had it all picked.
Oh, see, I didn't know. I thought he left it standing.
No, he had it all picked. I think he cut it right like that few days before rifle.
Okay.
And yeah, he had it all cut. Now I need to give him a call this year and see what
he has up.
Yeah, especially with all the rain we've been getting. I don't know if he's gotten in there or not.
You probably need, I mean, he's done corn the last 2 years, hasn't he? Or 3?
Yeah, he's done corn the last 2 or 3 years, but the problem is, or not the problem, that ground's so fertile in the river bottom, I mean, he could plant corn every year. But
well, yeah. I mean, that's just like where I'm at, too.
To an extent, like it would be nice, or it would be probably good for the soil to rotate it at some point. But the biggest thing that hurts him is like, it's not just, it's the access. Like he has to cross the big creek to even get back to them backfields, and he's got to dig. He digs that creek out every time he tries to cross. So I don't know if he's actually gotten in there or not, but I'm hoping obviously that he's gotten it planted, and if he hasn't, I hope that he plans to plant it. So
yeah, and just doesn't let it grow up. I mean, if he does, that could benefit you all, but at the same time, you can't beat crop.
For several years, he put crop in there, and then he ended up taking crop out of there, and he put it in, or like enrolled it in some kind of it was like oats and something else, and he ended up bailing it for his cows.
Mm-hmm.
He did that for like 7 years or something, and it was decent, but it was just kind of like I
can't beat crop.
Yeah, I want crop in there, but I can't say that like, I don't know. It didn't really hurt anything, but it was just like, by deer season come around, it was just a big. And it wasn't like the field was grown up, it would be a foot tall, and it was like there's just not cover. Typically through deer or with like a cornfield or whatever, how many deer hold in that cornfield, and like especially if you're sitting on the edge of it, or even like beans, a lot of them we have obviously great bedding that we've made along the in places to where the deer bed really close and they come out to feed at beans at night, and it's like outstanding, really. But I don't know. Hopefully he gets some crop in there. I need to call him, and he might already have some crop in there. They might not be getting rain up at the farm either that they've gotten here. I haven't really paid attention.
I know they did last weekend. Like, I don't know for sure, but whenever I looked at the radar, there was a big red cell going over pretty much all of Missouri.
I was at Grandpa's farm over the weekend, and they had beans planted already over there. And they were 2 or 3 inches tall coming up.
So I don't know if it was beans or corn, but Josh sent me a video today. Mm-hmm. Did Josh White send you a video?
No, I don't think I've seen it. Or if he did.
I mean, it looks waist high. Like, it looks like it's about to start turning.
It would have to be corn.
It looked like beans, to be honest, but there's no way. Not already.
I wouldn't think. I've seen corn that's, like you said, waist high, but I don't know that I've seen any beans that are either bigger than the ones at Grandpa's farm.
Mm-hmm. No, I know what you mean. I'm just saying it looked like it.
Really?
It looked tall. Like, looked good.
They might have got if they were lucky and got them in early, then we've had plenty of rain to get them.
But you wouldn't think that they'd be that tall already.
No, not unless, like I said, unless they planted beans back when everyone else was planting corn, but they shouldn't have.
I guess they could have. It was 80 degrees 2 weeks before youth season.
Yeah, we had some really warm weather and timely rain. So, but I'll
have to ask him when we're done.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it was green and it was tall. It was in a field, and it didn't look like rows.
Green and tall. Yeah, who knows? It could have been a lot of things.
Yeah, could have been. It was just he just went through quick and
video.
It was crop field. So I was like, damn, that looks really good.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I would say it could have just been alfalfa, but that wouldn't be waist high. It would have been knee high.
Yeah.
At most,
Which he was standing up on a levee, looking at it, but it looked. But you could
tall.
see like the path that he'd driven down, with the tall grass in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was right up there with the tall grass. But I don't know. I'd have to ask him. I don't think I can go back on the video though. Yeah. I wish I could.
It wouldn't be wheat or rye. That stuff's already turned and baled.
Yeah, all the wheat's gone. All the turkey nests got rolled up.
That's another thing. Fawn's been dropping like crazy.
I seen one. Well, I told you on our way over here where I seen him, like a little bitty sucker.
Really?
Well, show him that picture.
Did I show you or did I just show your brother on Friday?
I think you might have just showed him. Did you find a really small one?
Like
I
wet?
Helped one like wet cross the road.
Really?
So we were on our way to this job, and there was like 6 cars behind us, and doe come across the road, and I told my coworker, I was like, look at that doe, and I was like, dude, there's a fawn right behind it, and he's like, where? I don't see it. So I put the hazards on, and I got out and I waved the people to come by, and then walked right up to it and just flopped down, like just muscleless, like didn't want to do anything. The mom's just in the field over watching. I just didn't want the damn thing to get hit by a car behind us, but
dude,
his ears were wet. His belly, his legs soaking wet. Which it was in the mornings. That could have just been from the grass.
I would look by telling you off that picture that thing's not.
No, I didn't think he was more than a couple weeks old.
That thing's not
like a couple hours.
Yeah,
old.
That thing's not more than 48 hours old.
Because he's in one of the pictures he tries to set it down and the legs just went.
Yeah,
I would tell you off the top of my head, I'm not even going to throw numbers out there because someone out there would be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But I want to say that a deer can stand within, a day or two.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to say within.
otherwise it would die.
I want to say within a few hours the deer could stand.
I mean, because he had to have been walking. He was right behind his mom.
Right.
I think once he got to the road, he was just hadn't seen it before. And
as weak and small as
and,
that deer is, I would tell you that it was no older than probably 48 hours old, 2 days old.
Yeah. Which I hope I didn't mess anything up. Like I hope the mom came back.
Most of the time it won't affect anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many people out there that they tell you not to mess with them, obviously, because the biggest thing that I've heard with them is a fawn. However it's the world works, a fawn is scentless. Has no scent. So, and basically that keeps it from coyotes and foxes, everything else, like being able to smell it.
Right.
What happens is you go touching it or moving it.
That was my thought.
Then it has scent to it.
That was my
and
thought.
So, and not necessarily that a coyote smelled it. It's like, damn, I smell a human over there. But it just gives it a sort of scent that's like not as if nothing was messing with it.
Yeah, that was my thought with the mom. It's just like,
but she was standing there though.
Yeah, she didn't leave.
Watched.
She was watching.
And I mean,
so
don't quote me on that. That's what I've heard or read from different people. I mean, I can't say that 100% myself, but it does make sense. However, that they're basically born scentless, just for, to help them survive. And so by touching them and stuff, obviously you just kind of give them a scent.
Well, and as soon as I put it back down and the cars went by, I called the agent in that county and just let him know what highway we were on, that it was there. So I don't know if he came by and checked and see if the mom got it, but I did my due diligence.
Right. Which is a good thing that you at least helped it get away from getting hit and stuff. And a lot of times the mom, I think, comes right back to him.
Yeah, I mean, she was saying it right there. The fawn could have just ran, to her, and then they would have been fine.
I don't know of anywhere that necessarily like a mom's. I don't know how they prove or that there's any evidence out there that a mom, you touch it, the mom's not coming back to it. I think more of that is just telling people that way people don't mess with them,
right?
Because like probably even the agent you called or my buddy Cole, that's an agent. You probably won't believe how many phone calls that he gets of like, oh, there's a fawn laying out in my backyard, like it's not moving. I think there's something wrong with it. And they're like, no, the mom knows where it's at.
Yeah,
just leave
that's
it there.
what the agent out there, I forgot what county we were in, but he just said, yeah, leave it alone. Like it'll either get up and walk away or the mom will come back.
Right.
So,
well, if you wouldn't have brought it across the road, I mean, you take the chance of, if you did touch it, whatever, you moved it across the road, say you wouldn't have stopped, the cars behind it would have just crushed.
Yeah, hit it. Or it takes a chance of it ending up laying in the road or something. Like, at least getting it across to where its mom was is a great thing. And I don't think, like I said, in my experience or my knowledge, I don't think that it has anything to do with, like, I think the mom plenty well will come back and take care of it. It's just a fact of, there's a lot of people out there that think, like, oh, there's no mom around and there's a fawn laying by itself. Like, I need to help it. And it's like, a lot of times the mom will place them and leave them,
right?
And go off and do their thing. And they know where the fawn's at. It's just a matter of, whenever they come back or whatever. And so there's just a lot of people out there that don't get it. And so they say, not to mess with them. Now, I'm not telling you to, like, far as of like turkeys or whatever, I'm not to say, you jump a hen off its nest and you to pick the eggs up and juggle them around and set them back down. Like, she may not come back, but, and there's a lot of people too that obviously are cutting hay right now, like we were saying. And I always like the people that will like find a nest and then like mow a circle around it. It's like, all right,
it's like a bullseye for
it's the
everything.
it's the only weed sticking up in the field.
Yeah.
Like okay, I agree. Like, you didn't just run it over, which is nice, but like the chances of it making it are like zero.
Josh did see a bunch of poults.
Oh, did he?
Down there?
I
think
did hear
you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it, but yeah.
Right. I've heard some people seeing poults. I personally haven't seen any poults. I
Yeah,
did see a fawn the other day.
He said that he was driving around on the Ranger, and he said 2 hens.
Yeah.
So like you know what a killdeer is, right?
Yeah.
Like the little
Yeah.
bird. They lay their eggs in the
And
ground.
gravel, yeah.
And when you get close to their nest, they start just acting like they're hurt. And, they'll flap their wings and like they can't fly.
Trying to deter you from their nest.
Yeah, trying to get you to go the opposite way.
Right.
Well, he said that's what the hens were, just acting all weird. And he said he like took a step and the poults just flew up in the tree.
Really?
He said there was like 10 of them in the tree above him.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean they were flying, so they're gonna survive.
Were you with us whenever we were at the farm?
Yep.
A few years ago, and like we were just out walking in a food plot. We had a clover food plot, and it was kind of grown up, and some of the wheat that we had in there from the year prior to was pretty high, and we were just walking around out there, had no clue at all. And,
We were putting up cameras, weren't we?
yes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was, but we were putting them up. It was probably June, like around this time, and we were just walking in the field, not thinking anything about it. I guess when we first gotten into the field, there was a hen out there, and
I didn't see it.
no, I never did either, but she must have just hunkered down. Well, one of us had gotten close enough, and she jumped up, and when she jumped up, all the poults.
We were playing food plots that day. You all playing food plots early.
There's no way we could have. The field was tall. They were.
Or maybe we were
living it.
spraying it then.
We might have been spraying it, but we
Yeah.
couldn't have been planting because she was
Yeah.
hunkered down in the field.
Well, all the poults just went.
Yeah,
flew up
they
in
all
the
took
tree.
off flying. Yeah,
Yeah, we were doing it. May have been cameras.
yeah. I think we were just setting cameras up for
Yeah.
for just summer pictures.
Yeah, I don't. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's whatever. It's what it is. But
I
there's a
can't
lot
remember
of
what I
there's
did
a lot of
last week.
fawns, a lot of poults around or whatever. So if you do find a fawn,
Don't touch it
don't mess with it.
unless it's endangered,
Yeah, the
like
mama,
in the road.
the mama be back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you said. They place them, go feed, and come back.
Yeah. I mean, the fawns aren't strong enough to walk around and follow their mom all day long.
Yeah.
So they place them somewhere. And like I said, I've always been told that's why they're scentless, or the mama, place them wherever and they're not bothered.
They're not really worried about it.
No, they're not really worried about them. And most of the time they place them somewhere because they feel that's a safe spot.
Yeah, and half the time those fawns, they literally put their head down and they do not move.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
No.
people have walked up on them and seen them, and they just sit there.
And I think that's why a lot of people find them, obviously, in like the suburb areas like this or whatever. They'll find them in their backyards and stuff. Well, a lot of the places are pretty safe in the backyards. You don't have coyotes and stuff running around in your backyard, and the does place their fawns where they know is safe spots.
it's probably honestly their core bedding area
Yeah.
is probably what it is. Like the does.
unless
bedding area.
unless the fawn's mom's a piece of shit and they just put it away.
Deadbeat mom.
Yeah, deadbeat mom that doesn't want
Here, lay in the middle of the road. I'll be back later.
She doesn't want to raise her kid. It's just like, yeah, here's a good spot for you.
Yeah.
But most of the moms are good anyway.
Yeah. I mean, as far as we know.
As far as we know, I guess, yeah.
I'm tempted to see if the triplets come back or the triplets happen again.
Yeah, that would be
Because there was 2 years in a row there was triplets.
triplets.
Mm-hmm.
Dad always told me over on Grandpa's farm, he used to have the farm next to it, and they used to have a doe every year that would have triplets, which is fairly rare.
Yeah, I mean,
Twins is common in 2+-year-old does. I mean, I think a first-year doe, if she's bred, typically just has a single fawn. I mean, a lot of twins is common, but like triplets are fairly rare. You don't really see a whole lot of does birth triplets.
Yeah, and I hope either she's still alive or, she's having her triplets right now or whatever. She may not have triplets every year.
Actually, I'm pretty sure whenever they have triplets, or there could be like a runt of the litter too. Whenever they have triplets, kind of like in pigs or whatever.
Or dogs, yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen different pictures posted on the internet and like deer that are just like really like bucks that are really stubby, or mainly it's just bucks, because no one really posts pictures of does, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, I've seen bucks before that people post on trail camera picture, and they're like midgets of deer.
I seen one. This guy was literally holding it by the rack in his tail, and he was literally holding it by his knees, and it wasn't even touching the ground.
Yeah, like I don't want to, I guess, make it sound bad like that, but they're like the midgets of deer. Like they're just a short, stubby, like real short, stocky deer. And I actually killed one year. The deer, one of the deer, one of the deer in my room. I shot it in youth season one year, and I remember going to get it, and I was just like, it was just a short, like the legs on it were like a foot and a half long, and they just had this real, like it had like no neck. Like,
a donkey with antlers.
Yeah, it was like, and then I mean the neck on it was like, if you know who wide neck is or whatever, like no neck.
No
it
neck.
was just like all freaking head and shoulders, you know, and it had this real short, stubby face to it. And I was like, damn, this thing's like, you know,
it needs to go.
It's just odd. Like, it was just weird. And so I was like, and then I found some people online that had like the trail cam pictures or whatever. And so I just kind of did some research, and they were like, usually it happens when there's like just a runt of the litter, when there's typically happens with like triplets or.
I wonder what causes a runt.
I don't know. One of the kids is a shithead, and it doesn't get as much nutrients as all the others. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Oh, no, I don't know. I really don't know. I was going to say the two other kids, like, outcompete him.
Well, I guess, I mean, that could be true.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get a nipple, and they suck down all the milk, and he gets a couple drops at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. How'd you get into hunting?
Well, I've kind of been hunting all my life. I'd say within the past couple of years, I've really taken more of a hankering for it and gotten more serious with it. But my dad grew up in New York, and he hunted all his life and lived on a farm. But when he married my mom, they kind of decided together that they didn't want to raise all of us on a farm and stuff, which was fine. I had a great childhood, but I kind of wish I would have got into it a little bit more. It'd probably be my only regret, like younger. I've got a lot of wild stories when I was a kid hunting.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, the past couple of years, I've really, especially bow hunting, I've gotten into that way more and studying deer behavior, and like really, I've made a lot of mistakes. And
we all have.
Learning from it's just what I've fallen in love with the most.
If you want to know one thing about me, Jeff, I might be the king of mistakes. I might have more mistakes.
He's got the biggest Kansas curse. And
I might have more mistakes made on giant deer than anyone on the rest of our.
Well, just one mistake in particular just happened this last season. I hunt a lot of public ground. It's I really love like the challenge.
Yeah.
But I had this one spot that I had scouted later in the season. It was in December, and I was trying to get on a late season buck. And I had walked in there, and I kind of just stumbled into a really, really big bedding area, and I got in there real early. So I set up kind of between this cut power line path, and I was sitting on one side, the timber side. There was a cedar thicket on one side, and then the power line opening, and it was the timber side. It was up on top of a bluff, and the way the wind was going to be, I was sitting on the timber side, and I in my head for some reason I just confused myself, and I ended up crossing over to the cedar side because of where I thought the deer was going to come. And no kidding, I had this decent 8-pointer. He wasn't anything magical, but he came up right behind me, probably within like 10 yards of me. And like I was on my knees, just frozen, because it was like, it's happened so fast. I couldn't set up on him. And all I seen, because it was in this really thick cedar thicket right behind me, all I could see was just his rack moving around. And I don't know if he knew something was off or he might have caught wind of me, but he broke to the right of me. And I pretty much watched him walk into the opening. And like I said, I was on my knees just sitting in some really tall CRP just right outside of the cedar thicket. And as soon as like I started just to raise up as slow as I could, because he was probably within 30 yards. I had a dead shot at him quartering away. And as soon as I just started getting up, I mean, like on a dot, his head just flips over. He takes a couple hops and he was gone. So that was like one mistake in particular. I was beating myself up about it because like if I was sitting on that other side, he would have walked right into me. I would have already been drawn. Would have had a shot. It's like why I made the switch because I thought he was gonna play the wind differently, and it's just like, well, now I know at least in that particular spot or in that scenario, if the wind's going to be in that direction, I need to weigh the odds a little bit differently.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's always a guessing game, and I don't know that we'll ever outguess them. You know, I think a lot of it is just getting lucky and being in the right place at the right time. But I've definitely had a lot of things that I've learned, and the best way to do it is to go out and learn from your mistakes. I mean, if I could have took several times back when I was a kid, you know, and like took them back to what I know now, like I could tell you that my wall would be
more
fuller than it is now. But I just. And I could have definitely had quite a bit bigger deer on the wall, but it just doesn't happen. And as much as like hunting's full of some of like the lowest lows, but it's also like some of the highest highs. But you got to be okay with like in them low spots to be able to know like what happened and learn from them and be able to like get back out there. And I think that's what keeps us like keeps us coming, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to tell you, and you know, it might look like it, and every hunter out there, you know, you can name whoever, I'm sure that every one of them can tell you some of like the super low spots that's out there, you know. Just not a whole lot of people post about them, obviously. You know, you don't want to get on the internet, and if all you read was negative stuff all day long, it wouldn't be great, you know. But like posting some of them things and some of like your experiences just for others, a lot of people, you know, I enjoy reading some of like the low things, or like some people that had mistakes or whatever. It's like, all right, you know, like that's what they did, or like also let some other people learn from their mistakes. Like me in Kansas this year, we've talked about it time and time again. I don't know, you probably hadn't heard, but
he listens to some of them. He might.
I had 180 to 200 inch deer at 40 yards, and my muzzleloader didn't go off. Like the primer was the only thing that went off. I mean, if I would have been smart and I would have pushed the powder out and probably put new powder in it every hunt, probably would have been all right. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know what the whole key thing was. I mean, it didn't rain. I wouldn't have thought that I got moisture in it, but for whatever reason, like it just didn't go off.
It might have been from you transferring it from your truck to the hotel room.
Yeah, and it was getting, you know, in the evenings, I'm not saying it would get cold, but it cooled off overnight, and then it would get really hot during the day, so there was a little bit of condensation. You know, generally, that's not like a big factor. I wouldn't play in it, but for whatever reason, it didn't go off, you know. So if I had to tell anyone, or if I had to do it again myself, I just push the damn powder out and put new in every day.
I mean, that's just like when you put the powder in your gun, you don't take your fingers and touch it. You know, you use the little red stick and you shove it in there.
Right.
You know.
So like there's plenty of things that, obviously, mistakes that I've made. I've probably just made quite more few than others.
Well, I mean, it's just so unpredictable. Because I think I was telling you guys last Friday that spot I was really heavy turkey hunting this year. I couldn't predict where the birds were going to fly down. I knew where they roosted. Because I mean, the one night, the day before the opener, we roosted a really nice tom, and the next morning he didn't fly down where we thought he was going to, and then every other time we'd set up differently and they'd fly down somewhere else. It's just like, you know, you just gotta play with the hand you're dealt.
Yep, and you know, some of that, like this year's turkey season, and we've had different podcasts we've done about turkeys. This year's turkey season is one of the hardest seasons. I mean, we found success, but it didn't come easy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't you set up, you call, the turkeys come into the decoy.
No.
Last year, I mean, almost every bird was coming to the decoy, you know, except for the one.
And I wonder why that is.
I think a lot of it has to do with kind of the weather we've had, you know. And I mean, we were dealt almost 90-degree weather several weeks before turkey season, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think youth season, you know how youth season is, it's usually prime. I mean, youth season was good this year.
Yeah.
But it's almost like when youth season hit, it was like almost the start of our season.
Yeah.
You know, so they were still fired up, but it's not like a normal youth season.
Yeah, they were fired up even through our season, kind of. But, I mean, at the same time, they'd hit the ground, be quiet. The first week of our season was 800-mile-an-hour winds and rain and nasty, you know, like, hell, I mean, turkeys couldn't even roost in a tree. They'd blow out. It was so windy half the time.
I think when I shot mine on that opening week Thursday, I think it was like 89 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have any trouble finding birds. It was just getting them to come in.
And we can sit here and basically say what we think it is, but is that the reason?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, we'll never know.
I mean,
but
we've talked about it plenty of times. The people that don't normally kill opening week, they all killed.
Yeah.
Us, it was later in the week.
Yeah.
Like Max, his farm's usually
lights out.
Yeah, like right off the rip, lights out.
Yeah, I would tell you we didn't really even hear a bird all day. I mean, we seen some birds, but it wasn't nothing like it normally is. And we scouted it like several times the week before
in his
like,
yard.
Yes, like we'd sit down there at the house, and we'd sit there and it'd be right off, right there at first light. They'd pitch down, be strutting around. Hell, they even strutted up into the yard, the cabin. And they did that every time we were down there. And we were like, oh, yeah. I mean, obviously we knew where they were, and they were hanging in this clover plot. We go down there opening day. Just weren't there, weren't even around. And we hunted pretty late. We hunted a few times and just, I don't know. Couldn't tell you why. Like I said, we won't know. That would be my best educated guess is why they just weren't working like normal, but... So did you grow up, or were you did you ever live in New York, or have you lived here your whole life?
I've lived in Missouri my whole life.
Okay.
Ever since I've been born, though, I go to New York every year. I haven't missed a year. So every Thanksgiving, I'm up there hunting in the tundra, as they like to say.
Yeah, that's a really cool opportunity. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that
well, so I'm used to just mainly timber deer. I don't do a whole lot of crop hunting. When I do, I take advantage of it. But I'm used to smaller bodies with big racks. But up in New York, it's because we'll hunt down here for rifle season, because my family in New York will come down the week before, and then we'll go up there, and it's like a night and day difference on just the animal alone. You go up there, and I've seen, even on our farm, but just from the road, they just look like cows with antlers. They're just ginormous, which it's completely different environment up there. They've got to be able to fight the cold more than I guess that we do down here.
You were saying upstate New York too. It gets pretty damn cold up there.
Yeah, and the past couple years they've had some wild snow too. Like we were driving. We went to Buffalo this year because it's usually like a vacation for us too, but. We were driving past the Bills Stadium, and I think the Bills had a Thanksgiving Day game this year, but they were paying people off the street $20 an hour to come shovel out the stadium. There was so much snow.
Yeah, they had like 30 feet of snow this year.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, the highways, they would just plow snow up until the bottom of the overpass. Like, it was just wild, dude. Wild.
Up there, and... Well, I'm not going to speak for up there, but I was going to ask you, instead of like actually plows, a lot of times when I've been in Colorado and it's snowing and stuff, they actually have like snow blowers on the front where it just because the snow gets so deep to where they can't actually plow it because it has nowhere to go. Yeah. So it's just like a snow plow or a snow blower on the front of like a.
I'm sure they have that up there.
And they basically, whenever they plow, it just shoots it off the side, and that's how.
Yeah, they do have those. I've seen those.
So
before.
That's how the snow just gets mounted higher and higher and higher. Because I mean, I've seen where it's a wall of say 10 foot of snow. Well, if you're plowing it, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
You can turn your blade, but where's it going to push it?
Right.
It's a wall of 10 feet. So whenever they're like, they go along, it blows the snow and it just gets higher and higher though.
I'd like to see that actually.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see it in action just to witness it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of cool.
We'll never get it here.
Snow to witness that.
Yeah, no kidding.
One thing too.
Yeah, we don't.
No, but it's good. My grandma's got a farm up there, and my dad's brothers and sisters there's one food plot that they'll plant every year. But we've had sets in certain spots, and we're able to pattern deer really easily up there. And then the youngest brother out of all of them, he lives about an hour away from there, and he's got quite a few acres at his house, more crop based, but we don't get to do a whole lot of hunting up there where he lives because his county's shotgun only.
Really?
So
that's pretty neat. So have you actually harvested some deer up there?
Yeah, I've killed a buck and a doe up there in my lifetime.
That's really cool.
But I'm pretty particular when I'm up there, just because I spend a lot of money on a tag. Right. I let a lot of deer walk up there,
and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I actually respect you for doing that. 'Cause there's a lot. I mean,
Go ahead.
there's a lot of people, and me, I'm kind of the same way as you. There's some people that can't stand eating a tag. Like,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money for this, I'm killing a deer.
Yeah.
But to me, like, I rather not kill a deer and know that, I had the opportunity or whatever. I just didn't see what I wanted, because I mean, you could shoot a deer just to say you're going to fill your tag, but you never know what could have come by, or like what could have happened.
Yeah. Well, and surrounding our farm up there too, the neighbors on both sides and across the street, they're pretty much as avid of hunters as we are. So like, there's a lot of deer just in that one little 3-mile radius that are all trying to get, they're all trying to grow them and get them big. So it's like, who's to say that the neighbor across the street has a really nice buck that won't travel onto ours?
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I don't use my New York trip as like my freezer filling trip, if that makes sense. It's more of like, I'm gonna let all kinds of deer walk just so I can get an opportunity at one.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll fill your freezer this year.
Yeah,
Here.
that's fine.
We'll fill it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Now, I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about keeping deer cold in New York or
No.
weed spoil.
No, I mean, no.
I mean, you could bring it back rock solid, probably. But
What,
driving through all those states, you could
But
probably just keep it in the cooler.
I could
no
see
ice.
definitely like, not necessarily going there to fill the freezer, because, you got to get it all back here. And we got plenty of deer running
Well, and
around here.
it gets harder too, because like we only go up there, for 10 days at a time. So like if you're on day 9 and you shoot one, I mean, because we take it to a guy up there that ain't too far and process it for us.
Yep.
And it's like, well, he's got to have it done within one day, or that's just going to sit up there in the freezer until we come back next year.
Right.
So
What is a New York tag run for a non-resident?
rifle, it's I think I only pay like 150.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
No, it's not, because when they come down to Missouri, their Missouri tag's over 200.
Yeah, and I mean to tell you, we do a lot of bitching about our Missouri tags being cheap
all the time,
because, and I mean, I guess I'm not gonna be that guy or whatever, but there's a lot of people that always say that Missouri's the cheapest out of state tag. But like if I go to Kansas, I pay $640. If I go to Iowa, you can't even draw within a 6-year span if you're down in the area we're in. But you're looking at, on top of your 6-year span, you're looking at $600-700. Illinois is 500 or so.
How long is it to draw for those? Do you know?
I think you can buy Illinois over the counter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's probably on like don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can, and it's probably depending on like first come first served basis and how many tags they give it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Illinois is over the counter because Brendan's going this year.
Oh, okay. Brendan goes everywhere.
Yeah, Brendan's everywhere, but I don't know that it necessarily you have to apply.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about like the Kansas and Iowa stuff. So you got that money in your tag.
Yeah.
That's not your fuel, your hotel,
your
food.
And that's why, I agree. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, or like the cheaper the tag, there's more people that can come here. But on the same time as as a resident of our state, we have so many non-residents that will flee to our state because all our surrounding states are so expensive. And like Kansas, me and Spencer didn't draw.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Missouri, you don't have to worry about drawing. You can just come. Right. So what happens is not only, which it's nice, that and we have plenty of public ground, and our tags are some of the cheapest around. But what happens or starts to happen is now all these non-residents are also competing for all our residents for leasing ground, permission ground, all that stuff. And they've driven the price of it up so much that it's insane. But you can come here every year. So if you're going to lease a farm, like for a non-resident, say that's in Iowa or Kansas, like why not? You can come, which of course they're pulling obviously their resident state or their resident tags in their own state. But then you can also come to Missouri and lease ground and get a tag over the counter every year and hunt it. Like I can't even physically, if I went to Iowa right now and we bought say all three of us went to Iowa, went together, we bought a farm in Iowa. None of us can get a landowner tag in Iowa, even if we own the ground. we still have to draw a tag.
So we wouldn't even be able to hunt it then.
No, it might
take 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, we might own the ground, and now I'm sure there's like ways around it, or you can get always like some states have deprivation tags where like you can prove like, hey, these deer are like tearing up my crop and stuff. You can get tags, and I'm not necessarily saying I guess that like the 6-year wait is on like the coveted bow tag. Like you could probably get a late muzzleloader tag and an early muzzleloader tag on like a 2-year basis or different things. But like generally speaking, you know, if we owned a piece of ground up there, we wouldn't be guaranteed tags every year.
Yeah.
Which is insane, but that's what everyone.
Why does like Iowa and Kansas do that, but we don't?
See, that's my thing.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's kind of what.
Because I mean, the Midwest, man, like even Missouri houses some really quality deer, just like Kansas and Iowa does.
Missouri has just as big deer as both states. Honestly, I've been told by some biologists that I've done work for that there's no difference between Missouri or northern Missouri speaking and southern Iowa.
Yeah. All it is a divide.
All it is the state line. But on that like topic, that they think that Missouri could produce bigger deer than even southern Iowa if we had the same regulations, just for the fact that
no doubt
a lot of we have more native forbs and more like native basically timber and stuff than I mean Iowa's a lot of ditch rows and crop, which is great, but they said just as far as of like the health in deer herds and stuff that Missouri has more on the table than even southern Iowa, northern Missouri speaking. But we don't have I've set up personally at our farms, and we have check-in stations every year in rifle season, and I've sat there and you will barely see a Missouri license plate. It's all out of state, and all these guys are killing. And I don't judge anyone for what they kill. I mean, some people are out there hunting, and everyone's hunting for a different reason. Obviously, we're antler hunting or whatever for the sport of it, and you know, also for the meat. But some people,
we're not taking the meat for granted.
But some people, all they can do is like they go out to hunt to put like meat on the table because like it helps their family. And I'm not like judging them people at all. If they go out and they're going to shoot a deer or like anything, obviously if you're going out to put meat on the table for your family, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to pass that small buck and like wait for something else. Like some of these guys are just grateful to see a deer, you know, like we're just blessed that, you know, we go out and hunt. I think out of all the sits I had last year, there wasn't one hunt that I went on that I didn't see a deer. You know, some of these people are going out and it's, you know, they're lucky to see a deer, which, you know, like I said, we're really blessed in that aspect. I mean, as a youth, I know there were several times when I was growing up that we didn't have it easy. And there were several times that we'd go and not see a deer as well, you know, but we also, like I said, we were fortunate but we put a lot of work into it to get it to like where we're at now. But I just feel like, I don't know, as cheap as our tag is and getting one every year, there's so many people that have driven the price of leases and everything up that it's insane. And it, you know, people that live in our own state can't even afford to lease ground and stuff because people are leasing stuff from
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, all these other states.
So I'd actually talked to Josh about this. You know, we were on the phone for like 2 hours talking about leasing stuff. And I asked him, I was like, who can we talk to? Because I know there's so many people, and it's not going to go anywhere. But, you know, if there was someone that we could talk to, and like people that are non-residents shouldn't be allowed to lease ground. If they're they should only be allowed to hunt public or get permission. They shouldn't be allowed to lease. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that because they're non-residents and they're already leasing ground. You know, they wouldn't want that anyway. But for like a Missouri resident, that would be fair for us.
Right.
Because the prices would end up going down.
Right.
Or you would think.
Well, I mean, back in the day, it wasn't nothing to get permission ground. Like that's what a lot of people did. And obviously times have changed, but then, leasing became a thing. And it wasn't nothing to lease some ground or say 100 or 200 acres for $3,000, $4,000, which
some are even less than that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Right. But now, hell, there's places out there that are 100 acres and they're asking $10,000 for them, and it's like, I could go.
Or even just scenarios where somebody's going to come hunt it for a weekend, like not even for the full season. I see posts on Facebook like that all the time on Marketplace,
yes.
where they'll try to just like they're like trying to fill our schedule, like whatever, and they're charging so much money just to come hunt a weekend.
I hate that too, because people are starting to go to day leases or week leases, and the reason they're doing that is because people are come from out of state and. They'll hunt it for a week and then they're gone. Well, then the next
they don't want to pay for the whole year.
Yeah, they don't want to pay for the whole year because they're only coming to hunt a week or whatever their trip. Well, then these other people, coming in at different times of the year, well, they're getting so much more money out of it, leasing it like that. But like, who wants to go hunt a place that's been leased every weekend or other day?
I'm sure there could be a scenario where that would work, especially if the person who's leasing it runs a tight ship,
right?
The ground's very well managed and stuff, but I don't think that they should be charging the prices that they do. Like, the people are paying more than they pay for their out-of-state tag to come lease a ground for a day or two.
I agree.
It's like, that's insane. I understand like what you're saying about how it could affect the environment and like the next people to come in and how the deer would
my
react.
thing is, if I'm coming in and like you said, if they're running a tight ship and it's like more of an outfit to where it's like, hey, this and you're hunting here based on the wind, but between me and you, I mean, everyone has a different way of hunting. We might see eye to eye of hunting, like how we're going to hunt the wind, how we're going to hunt different things, but there's a lot of people that I don't trust or that I don't know that's going to hunt like that. So it's hard for me to want to lease something that someone's already been through, because the people before us might not have, they could have done a deer drive on the whole property and then left. And it's like, I don't know how they've hunted it, like I like hunting spots and with like the minimal intrusion. And I mean, that's kind of like on our farms that we have now. Like, there's times where I want to go in and hunt a deer, but I might not go hunt that deer just because the weather's not right, and I know the chances of me bumping him are higher than my chances of killing him.
Yeah.
Even though like that deer might daylight. Like I might sit here and my phone might ping and he's out there in daylight. But he's out there in daylight, that's because I'm not there. If I was there, what's the odds of him, like doing that? And I've learned that over the years too. We were talking about learning earlier. I've seen deer that are like call it 2 weeks in a row, they're doing the same thing. And I'm just like, oh yeah, he's going to do the same thing tonight. And I go in there and he doesn't show up. But then the next night when I'm not there, he shows up. Yeah. Well, you know why he wasn't there last night? Like, it could have just been a coincidence, but more than likely it's because you were there. And, you might not have seen him or he might not have seen you, but he knew something wasn't right to come in. Like, that's just
how they are.
How it happens. Yep. So I don't know. I don't like the whole situation, and I wish Missouri would do something about it.
I wonder too if it could be a population thing or percentage of public land thing. It's hard to say.
Missouri's biggest thing and how the conservation's driven is all money. So if their whole aspect of it, and I've talked to people that are way bigger than we might ever be, like people that have more say in stuff than that I'll ever have. And, they've thrown their pitch at the conservation, different things. And basically the conservation's thing about it is, or I guess I shouldn't say like changing or upping the non-resident tag. Like this is more speaking, I guess, like the rifle season in the rut, but it generates so much money for the state of Missouri that they won't change it. But that also includes that, like, typically rifle season here is just insane with non-residents, But my thing is, like Kansas, to be able to even apply to draw for a Kansas tag, we have to buy a non-resident hunting license. Well, that's $100 or $100 $120.
I didn't have to do it to get my point.
Oh yeah, but so to be able to apply for a tag, you have to buy a non-resident hunting license. So say I buy a non-resident hunting license and I didn't draw a tag this year.
You got to buy it again next year.
I'm not going to, there's nothing else. Obviously, I go out turkey hunting, but for someone else that may not be into turkey hunting or doesn't go out there to turkey hunt, I basically bought a non-resident hunting license for no reason because I didn't draw a deer tag, so I'm not going out there hunting. Well, that is already $120 generated to the state that I'm not even hunting in your state this year.
Yeah.
I just gave you. And then on top of that, since I didn't draw, I had to buy, or like they'll keep so much money for a preference point. Well, I think it's called $20. So in the grand scheme of things, I gave the state 140, 150-ish bucks for nothing. Like I'm not hunting there at all.
Right.
Well, hell, you can come to Missouri and hunt for $225 or something. So like, it's not that far off of getting a tag and coming here. And I just gave Kansas that money and I'm not even hunting there. So I feel like if Missouri would do, and then you'd have people like you just bought a preference point, you know, that also generates money and you're not going to that state at all this year. So if Missouri would basically up the tags and cut it off, or say you'd have to split it into units, which is what most other states do. Iowa has units, Kansas has units. If you split it into units and said, okay, in unit 1, we're going to give out 2,000 tags, unit 2, 2,000 tags, or however biologists, you know, want to claim how many deer are there, however they want to come up with that number. And then whenever you come up with that many tags, well, say they give out 2,000 and you have 4,000 people apply. Well, obviously 2,000 get tags, 2,000 people don't. But the 2,000 people that didn't are still generating money and they're not coming to even hunt the state, which would also still generate tons of money, especially if we make our tags the same as even Kansas or Iowa. Like I got to pay that to go to their state. If you made our tags, call it, even not even if you made it what they make it, just make it $500. That's double what it is now. Like that would be double the money coming in, and you could basically cut our hunters in half, charge
and get the money for
and get the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And plus, I think it would improve our hunting because you'd have less pressure out there. You know, we might grow a little bigger bucks and you'd be a more desired state. Like the reason I want it, why do you think Iowa has a 6-year wait? Everyone's for that coveted Iowa tag. That's because it's so low pressured and it allows deer to get mature and like there's big deer out there. Same kind of thing with like Kansas or different areas, like which Kansas is starting to get hammered pretty hard, but like they manage it well enough that like, yes, you can come to Missouri right now the way our season's set up and kill a big deer. Like it happens every year. But is it like, would it be your odds, I guess, would like improve drastically if we changed our regulations to how they do and we could bring the same amount of money.
Yeah, it would help. It would help the 2,000 that do get a tag, and it would also help the residents.
Yes.
Because there'd be less pressure.
Less pressure.
Hunters,
the deer can get to their full potential. And then, you know, say the 2,000 that didn't get a tag last year got a tag this year. Well, now they have a chance at a better hunt, better deer.
A lot of it is too, you know, and I've been fortunate I don't hunt much public ground. Actually never really hunted public ground for deer.
I think I've only hunted one time.
Yeah. And so I'm lucky enough that I don't do that. But I'm not against public ground. Adam hunts public ground every year and kills nice deer, big deer. I mean, you were talking about hunting public ground. I'm not against hunting public ground at all. But especially in like the area we are up around our farm, in rifle season, if you were to fly a drone over it, it'd be like a pumpkin patch. Like I can't believe people don't get shot.
I don't step foot on public during rifle. No. It's only bow season.
And which is kind of sad for our residents to say, like, you know, say they cut the limited to tags instead of, you know, right now it looks like 2,000 hunters on one piece of public ground. Say there might be 5 people in there or whatever. Well, that would give you a chance of, you know, pushing a little bit of deer around, but being able to spread out and hunt it. Like it gets so overpressured because anyone can come here that it ain't even funny. And which is sad. Like, you know, people like you or other people that I've heard that are saying, oh, I don't go to public ground in rifle season. Or our own hunters aren't even going to the ground because they know how bad it is.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was telling you guys, even for turkey season, that first week I was out there and I seen a dude on public, hands and knees with a shotgun. Just
you were telling me that. I told you
I was
not
like,
to do that.
Man, if he had a decoy in front of him right now and there was another guy that he didn't see, like that dude's asking to get shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's not, you know, between me and you, I don't understand how it happens, but once again, there's very few people I trust, especially when you start putting a gun in someone's hand these days. If you come reaping across the field with a decoy, I'd be able to tell if you're a decoy.
Yeah.
Like I would. Like there's such a difference between a decoy and a live bird that like I don't think I would ever shoot a decoy.
Yeah.
Like
there's so many. They're like just a live bird, the feathers and the head movement.
yeah, the movement, and almost every time I pick up my binos to make sure, like, the first thing I do is always grab my binos, to like get a look at something. I mean, hell, me and Brady were sitting there this year in opening weekend of turkey season. We had a guy almost shoot our decoy. And the bird, obviously my decoy, wasn't moving. And this was over a 25-minute period, and like the bird never moved. Like, it's just kind of like turkeys are always moving. Like,
yeah, I mean, even if a tom doesn't break strut, he's always spinning. No matter.
yeah.
And
Something.
like just always, like he's never just standing there, fanned
And
out.
I know people that, well, hell, not this year, I guess, but 2 years ago, there was a conservation area just north of us, and 2 people got shot opening weekend. Well, one was self-inflicted. They, I guess, just weren't very careful with their gun and laid it on a tree, and it fell over and like shot the dude in the leg or something. But the other one, a guy was crawling through the weeds and didn't even have a decoy or nothing, like you were just saying. Like, he was just crawling through the weeds. This other guy seen the weeds moving and thought it was a turkey and just peppered him.
Yeah, see, that's terrible.
See, yeah, you don't know what people are
Which,
going to do.
Gratefully, like, it obviously it didn't kill him or anything, but could you imagine just being like, oh, the weeds are moving, boom!
Yeah, no, I mean,
like, what the hell?
so what if you just shot a hen? I mean, that's
Well,
illegal.
anything. Like,
no, I know
you
what you're
can't
saying.
even get eyes on it. You just see some weeds moving. Like, it could have been anything.
Yeah. No,
You know?
I agree.
Like, I don't understand, but that's where it comes to the point that's just like, I don't trust many people at all. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess enough about my rant on Missouri's
On Missouri,
tags.
how much he hates it.
I live here, but man, I hate
The
it.
state sucks.
It's terrible.
I love
That's why they call it misery.
Yeah, literally.
I love Missouri. I just that's just something that I've always
You're very passionate about that.
Yeah.
I've felt like that, and I mean, you'll find a lot of people that say the same thing, I feel like. But so, which would suck for your family in New York, because
Yeah.
I don't want them to have to pay more to come here, or like not be able to come here like you guys have done traditionally.
Yeah.
You know, that would be something that would suck in that aspect. But there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
But not to cut you off or rant about it, but that's my 2 cents about Missouri.
What do you got? Nothing?
I don't even remember what I was saying before we got on that topic.
I mean, we were just talking about filling the freezer, and you were talking about the processing guy.
Yeah.
Oh, in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy going up there.
Oh, well, you
I
were
pack a
talking.
lot more clothes when I go up there.
Yeah, you were talking about that 8-pointer that you could have drawn back, and you second guess yourself and sat
Oh,
somewhere
just
else.
about learning from mistakes and everything.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then Landon started talking about all the damn mistakes he's made over the years.
Yeah.
What let's hear about your first kill, or what's your first experience?
So, well, the first buck I ever killed was on some public land. Me and my dad went out, and we really weren't even necessarily set up yet. We were kind of just walking to where we wanted to go sit for an evening. And we were crossing this barbed wire fence, and I went before my dad because I handed him my gun, and I ended up kicking up a couple doe just inside this tree line here that opened up into just this open field that was pretty much just surrounded by the trees. And we walked in there, and he was like, all right, just, be real slow, real quiet. And I think I was like 9-10 years old at the time, and pretty much followed where those does went. And I ended up stumbling upon this 7-point. He was just bedded down. Absolute massive deer. I mean, just giant body. He was insane. But he had 4 up on one side, beautiful. Then the other side just looked like remember how we were talking about the runt earlier?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It looked like he didn't get all the genes when he was born. I mean, his one,
Extra
it literally
chromosome.
just looked like this.
It
And then
was
he had
balled
4 perfect on one side. And I kind of just turned around real slow, and I was like, do you see the buck? And my dad's like, no, I don't see him. Like, what are you looking at? I'm like, it's a shooter, because I was like,
Right.
a kid and whatever. So he's like, well, get up there and shoot it. So I shot one time, and I know I hit it just based on how it all went down. I turned around. I was like, I got him. And he's like, get your ass over there and put another bullet in him so he doesn't walk. Because my dad couldn't even see him yet, right? And so I went over there and I put one more in his neck and he was dead. And my dad came up and it was a crazy experience for my very first buck. It was totally unplanned, like couldn't have gone any better. But then another story I was going to tell you, we were down at our property, and I was with my dad. I think it was another youth season, but we were sitting on this log together, and just out of nowhere, just some does just shot out. Like we didn't even know where they came from. And I had one probably within 15 yards of us. And so we were both standing up because it kind of like caught us off guard. And like, I don't know how it happened this way, but my dad was to the left of me, and I had my gun like pretty much aimed across his chest like this. And I was like, I was going to shoot that doe, and he goes, hold on. And he raises his fingers up to put him in his zip. All right, go. And then I shot like I was young. This was before I killed that buck, but I was younger. And I missed that deer. Like I shot 3 different times. It was like 15 yards away. But that was really funny. My dad said his ears were ringing for like an hour.
Yeah. Especially, if you ever shoot just across someone's, body, not like in a...
That's never the way to do it. Like, we're not recommending that.
Not in a dangerous way at all. Like,
like the barrel is past.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Right, right. I was just going to clarify. Like I said, not in a dangerous way, but especially like goose hunting or whatever, like you get swinging a gun or whatever and just like somewhat like pointed in a like a general direction, someone and blow their ears out.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah. No, I definitely I got into hunting because of my dad and my older brother too. He does a lot of hunting. He lives in Illinois, so he hunts mainly up there. But he comes down here from Missouri and hunts with me a lot too. But I definitely attribute everything to my dad. I'm glad, like within the past couple of years, I've gotten into bow hunting a lot more though, because I actually find way more joy in bow hunting than I do rifle. Not because it's a longer season or anything. It's just I feel like bow hunting's way more of a challenge than rifle, especially if you've got setups where you can shoot out to 500 yards or something. It's just like, to me, that's cool. You feel the freezer, but like bow hunting, you get to watch a deer grow on camera. You wait for the right opportunity, like you were saying, like how many bucks you saw on camera, like when you were learning from your mistakes. It's like, he might have daylighted that day. If I would have been there, there could have been a chance I would have never seen him again.
But with a rifle, I could have went and sat in a different location and shot at that.
Exactly. So, but it's just way more rewarding.
Oh yeah.
So,
and I just enjoy shooting my bow.
Yeah, me too. Like this last year I got the Matthews Phase 4, and like I don't know why I've never gotten into it before. Like I love it so much.
There's so much more time in it.
Yeah.
Well, and I just love. I mean, you can get a group of guys together, a few guys, and go out and sit there and have a good time. Give each other some shit, and
even right now, we're not even near the season. Yeah, even right now, it's fun.
Oh
to do that. And like I started doing some 3D shoots this year. Like that was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Except for last weekend.
Yeah, I didn't go last weekend.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. I need to go do a couple 3D shoots as well. Get on some.
Yeah. Well, if I would have went that last weekend, that would have been the first time I went to the farm in Mocaine, I think.
Really? Oh, so is that the new spot that they opened up?
I don't know if it's new. It's been around for a couple years at least.
Oh, has it?
But
have you done the one at the Sportsman Club?
Yeah.
In Jeff?
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was surprised how many targets they had the first time I went.
I
figured it was going to be a smaller course, but I think I shot 36 targets that day because we did both the full 18s. So
heck yeah.
Have you been to the one at Sportsman's Club?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Whenever I was young, Dad and them we used to go all over. Like every weekend in the summer, we used to find a bow shoot. And I don't know if they're still like that or not. I kind of hate that we got away from doing it, but it'd be my dad and my uncle and maybe a few of his buddies, and then me, Brady, and like we were obviously younger. We were still youth, but I used to enjoy like every weekend we'd go to Meta or we'd go to the Sportsman Club or we'd go like California. We'd go all over and just shoot bow shoots and stuff.
The Sportsman's Club has one. I think their August one, their last one. They're like raffling off some gun, or maybe it's a bow. That might be a gun. I forgot. But my buddy told me that the last one is pretty much like everyone comes for fun. You know, they have a supplier bring beer and stuff, and they do some raffles just for you showing up. You automatically get entered. It's like you could win a rangefinder, or you know.
We might have to do that. I mean, I'd like.
I'm pretty sure it's August. I'll have to get back with you guys on that.
Yeah, I need to start shooting more and getting a little more condition because I remember.
Well, I built that target for us the other day.
Oh, did you? Yeah. I guess I haven't seen it.
He's got.
I sent it to I put us all three. Or
he's
all
like
4 of us in a group
He's like,
chat.
damn it, Lane is the only one that didn't respond.
Dude, I have 611 unread text messages.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
So I'll see it here. I'll go look at it right now.
He goes, "Who's this Szumigala dude?"
Dude, I get so many messages that I just don't even look through. Like I always have my own mom would be like, "Did you see the message?" She'll call me. "Did you see the message I sent you?" And I'm like, No, probably haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't make it through half of my messages. Not that I don't want to, or some of them I just overlook, or especially like in group chats. I don't.
Oh, I never look at group chats.
I don't get a whole lot in just for the like.
So
I just overlook.
What you're
them.
saying is I should have sent the text out individually then.
Smaller group chats I will, but like our family ones. Cause like, so I have like a Merton side family one, and then we don't actually have a Clefford
Oh,
side
hell
one,
yeah. That's sweet.
But like, so some people will like delete it on accident, and they'll just start a new one.
Yeah.
And so then someone will text back in the other one, and it'll pop back up on their phone, and then they'll text in both of them, and I'm like, this is stupid.
Right.
Like, what?
We've got our Szumigala clan. With all of the.
I just replied.
With all of like the spouses and stuff, we have 2 separate ones. Because my dad's the only one with an Android, so we have one that he's in, and everybody else has the iPhone one. Yeah.
Which my uncle has. He doesn't have an iPhone, and like if they send a picture, I don't know if it's like that for your all's group, but if someone with an iPhone sends a picture, he won't get it. You have to send it to him directly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm bad too. That just like with work and especially with running like triple beam and stuff. Not that I'm that popular, but I get a lot of messages, especially with like work or like someone to text me this or that, or hey, can you check this? You know, this cabinet needs this or whatever with work, and then I'll end up getting a few messages. And you probably, when did you send that? Monday, probably.
Shoot,
Yeah.
that was it was Monday.
Monday,
Because I was there last.
Monday
month.
was probably the worst day because it was my birthday, and so I probably had 30 or 40 messages or whatever, and like I just completely.
Well, I felt bad because
half
you didn't
them.
have one for me. Did you remember that last time?
Yeah.
Talking about that.
So last time we were talking, he's like, so Landon's the one with the long hair. I'm like, no, that's Brady. And like we start talking, and then he's like, so Landon's this one. I'm like, no, that's fucking Brady. And Landon's the other one. And then I was like, it was their birthday Monday, and he goes, oh shit, I feel like an asshole. I just texted Brady. I didn't even think about it.
I saw Brady's story on Instagram from when he like reposted
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Shay's. So or he had just texted me back from, because he sent me his number on Instagram like you did, and he had just gotten back to me, and then I seen his story, and I was replying to his text. I said, "Happy birthday, dude!" And he comes over and he said that, and I was like, dude, why did I not? Like, I knew they were like brothers.
Yeah, I was
like, why didn't I
they're
not?
twins, you know?
I was like, damn, I feel so bad. That's why he didn't answer the group chat.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I pissed him off. He ain't gonna answer me now.
Yeah, damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
I told him, I was like, you all were at the lake all day. And I was like, you all were busy. I'm sure.
Honestly, these days it's just another birthday. I mean, like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, what'd you do on your birthday?" And I was like, "I worked till past dark." Like, I get busy and different things, but I probably overlooked it or whatever. But yeah, me and Brady.
Well, he didn't text you happy birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Moral of the story.
Yeah, it ain't.
I'm gonna hold
all
that.
600.
I'm gonna hold that one over you.
Don't go looking for
Now
it.
you're not the camera guy.
Yeah, well, all right.
Walk home.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm actually a minute older, if you were wondering. But
Now you know.
Yeah.
You're gonna text him a minute before.
Yeah, next year, Brady won't get a text. Just Landon.
yeah, see.
That's fine.
Yeah, or text me a minute and then text Brady the next minute.
Or text him right away and wait till 11:59 and then text Brady.
Right. Then text him. Actually, that would be kind of been cool. I was born at 11 o'clock in the evening, and Brady was born at 11:01.
Huh.
So if we'd have just waited like an hour, we could have been born on different days.
I'm sure
Dang.
you should tell your mom that. You should
Yeah.
have held him in.
Yeah. You should just help me another hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She's probably like, I wish I would have had you
2 weeks earlier.
an hour earlier. But no, I used to have like shorter hair. And then Brady always had the longer hair. And then
Always, yeah.
Yeah. And then just recently my hairstylist, aka my grandma, she retired, then she had knee surgery,
She
and then
broke
she
her
broke her
hip.
hip, had hip surgery. So my hairstylist hasn't been
Yeah. What you should
in
do
business.
is you should go back on the Triple Beam Instagram page and just look at how much they've changed in the last
Over the years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, Brady, you can't. It doesn't even look like him, to be completely honest.
Really?
Yeah, I just look at him like
He does got some long hair now.
Well, it's just like I don't. I mean, it's
I mean, my
facial hair. Like whenever I started hanging out with you all,
Yeah.
you all have always had facial hair.
Right.
So like looking back at this stuff previous, it's like, what the hell? Like, I don't even.
I'm gonna have to go back myself.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, Brady's never had like super long hair until just like, well, I guess it's been several years now.
Yeah, but it's not like it is now.
No, it's pretty damn long.
Yeah. Like you can, if someone was looking for behind, you could mistake him for a girl.
I mean, mine's long, but I wouldn't consider it probably as long as Brady's.
Well, he was saying that we were talking about that
Well,
last time.
that's what I said, because on Friday I said they both have long hair.
Yeah, and I was like, well, Brady's is longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Brady's is longer. I just couldn't see myself having long hair like that, but that's.
Yeah, no, I never could see me having hair even as long as I got now.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, oh, shave it, it's hot, which I do probably need to find someone to cut it or see if grandma's in the shape to cut it, because it's getting hot enough out or whatever, and it feels like it's like 300 degrees on the back of my head.
Yeah.
But I have really thick, like, whenever
your hair's thick.
when I have a hat on and it mats it down, but like if I got in a shower, like got it wet or whatever, it looks like I stuck a fork in an outlet. Like it would be freaking like
Afro man.
It is thick.
Walk through the white land.
Yeah, it is thick. That's only usually like if I go to bed with it wet or whatever, and I wake up in the morning, it's like out of control.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get a big old like horn looking
Yep.
thing.
It'd
all the time.
be like out of
Yep.
control.
Yeah.
But no, I do have some thick hair. My hair's like a freaking lab, like a
Yeah.
dog,
Yeah.
thick.
Well, what do you think? Anything? We'll wrap it up for the night?
Yeah, we could wrap it up for the night. We talked like 2 hours before we even started this thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
And for, just the three of us, even though, Jeff, thanks for coming on, even though...
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about
know you
the
didn't-
reason why you're coming on.
we didn't
but
really talk a whole lot about things. I just got off topic and mumbled about why I don't like Missouri season the whole time.
Yeah, moral of the story, Jeff's thinking about coming on and being a camera guy. He's going to try it out. And,
Yeah.
And I think we're all on the same page, me and Brady and Alan and Adam and Max, and, be a good asset added to the team. And, I mean...
Yeah, we've needed a camera guy, and we've talked a lot before this podcast. I think
We're on the same page.
yeah, it would definitely help us a lot to have someone to
Yeah.
film, because we're always running around anymore and as much stuff as we need to do. And I mean, me and Brady do a lot of filming together, but whenever I couldn't fill in or couldn't video or Brady couldn't video me, you did a lot, but you also got a lot of places that you're hunting yourself.
Yeah.
And so does even Adam. It's hard for me or Brady to go video you, and then Adam needs someone. And I mean, Max killed his deer last year. No one was there to video for him. And we got Alan in Iowa, and it just like definitely would be a great thing. Not only, when I say that, you're going to video him or me or whatever, but like and I mean, hell, even if you don't have the time or you're not able to make it, then we're in no worse boat than we are now.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
like,
we'll figure it out.
It would be great to have someone to say, hey, I'm, and you being where you're going to be self-employed would be great to, say, hey, we could, like, let's go hunting tonight.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So,
Yeah, and I mean, being self-employed, you'll be able to. I mean, you'll be making your own schedule.
Right.
You know, so you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you
I'm
can
not
more or less base your
I'm somewhat
schedule off what you.
self-employed, working for Dad, but I still make my own schedule.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can't quite do that. I wish I could.
That's what we were saying the other day when we were on this job because Jeff was there or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I ain't got as much time, to turkey hunt as you guys got. And Dad was like, yeah, shit. Whatever. he was like bitching or whatever. And I was telling Jeff, I was like, yeah, I just don't show up. I just go on half the time. Like there's a couple times whenever I know like something needs to get done because Dad would be like, you gotta be at the shop in the morning. I'm like, all right. And then I know obviously like as much as I don't want to, like I like I have to, but like there's a lot of mornings where like, and I try and I don't go every morning till noon, but I'd go some mornings I'd go and I'd be back to work by like 8 or 8:30, but sometimes I'd also go and be back at 9 or 10. And so, yeah, I know Dad probably, I don't know. He never really says anything about it unless we really have to get something done. But I'd also hunt in the mornings and then work late in the evenings or whatever.
Make up your hours.
Right. But that's just something being self-employed that's, really nice and benefits.
Yeah. And I mean, you got the mindset that you're willing to try it out and, you're wanting to do it, whatever it takes. Is
and now's the time really to get into it or like definitely, start like learning the ropes because we got plenty of time before hunting season.
Exactly.
We can go out, shoot some bows, mess with cameras. I mean, we got a lot of like planting stuff to do that we can mess around with videos.
And velvet scouting.
Everything.
I mean, you're hitting it at the right time, and I'm glad I hit you up when I did because
for sure.
I mean, it's I think it's all going to work out in our favor. And
realistically,
realistically, we need another person that's got the same mindset as you.
Yeah, pretty much. Someone that's
willing to learn it, and
someone that's willing to do it is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and what we've talked about is you're not always going to be behind the camera. You're going to get the opportunity to be in front of it.
And I don't know, the whole video thing, like, to me personally, I always say that, like, whenever me and Brady first started this, everyone was always like, I mean, Dad's buddy, Dad never really says a whole lot. Like, you could tell that he's probably like, why are you guys going to sit together? Like, if you split up, we'd have double the odds of, killing something, whatever. But, like, now Dad would look back on it or, like, he'd be like...
He'd understand.
Yes, like, 100%. But, like, back in the day when we first started, of course, like, I'm not saying that we're anything now at all. Like, we're not. We just enjoy it, and we're, like, slowly learning and trying to get better all the time. But it was like... Why are you doing that? And me and Brady were just like, because we want to. Like, this is what we enjoy. But even me being behind a camera, like, say, filming Brady or vice versa, me and him could agree, like, if I videoed him shoot a big deer, I wouldn't be upset that, like, I didn't have that opportunity. Like, I'm sitting right there with him and he kills it and I video the whole thing. Not only did we, like, say awesome video, but it's like, damn, like, to me, I could have shot that deer too. Like, I could have killed that deer too. Like, I just shot it in a different way. I shot it with a camera.
Yeah.
I didn't shoot it with a bow, but, like, I had the opportunity, like, I could have shot it as well. I just shot it in a different way. That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm boxing my mic over here. That's kind of how I feel about it. And, like, I don't know. It's just awesome. I mean, not every year that we're all given the opportunity to even shoot a big deer.
Yeah.
So,
and you all were fortunate enough to kill 2 of the oldest.
I've been fortunate. I think I've killed a big deer the last like 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty fortunate, but we also put a ton of work into it every year. But it goes back to 2, like, I would say every year I'm giving one opportunity, but where me or Brady are videoing and stuff, it also keeps it down to, like, we're putting double the scent in that area, but we're also not going to say, okay, Brady's hunting over here, I'm hunting over here, Dad's hunting over there. We're not blowing out the whole farm. Like, we're hunting the best possible spot that we think we could kill a deer, and that's it, with both of us sitting together. Yes, you got double the scent out there, but you also got double the eyes out there. You know, you don't have to move as much. Brady's looking one way, I'm looking one way. It makes us sit longer. We say it all the time. It makes us sit longer because I'm not sitting there twiddling my thumbs. I have someone to talk to, or if I'm, you know, bored, we'll sit there and, you know, bullshit back and forth or whatever. And
or talk about what you're going to do next.
yeah. And there's nothing like to, you know, sharing it with someone and like shooting the deer. And then for me or someone that's shooting, everything's happening so fast, you're drilling, you don't always know exactly what happened. To where like someone that's not shooting or someone that's videoing, damn near witnesses like
everything.
Yeah. You know, to say like you were shooting, like look and be like, you know, did I hit him, or like, you know, how well, or, and also like the whole videoing aspect too. It's helped us a lot because back in the day, or like whenever we say learning from our mistakes, Brady shot a big deer one year and no one knew where he hit it. He thought he hit it a little back, but we didn't know. We had no video, whatever. We were just taking his word for it. Well, we ended up going to track it and we ended up jumping it. He most likely put a liver shot on it. 100% dead deer. If we'd have just waited, you know, but we didn't know. We had no clue. We were younger, no clue what he swears he smoked it. You know, we don't know. To where like we look at video and we say, yeah, your shot's back. We need to give him 12 hours, like, or give him overnight or whatever. Like there's so many factors that I just like have grown to love about videoing that for me, sitting behind a camera and videoing someone else shoot a big deer, I have no problem.
Yeah. Like when Brady killed Deuce, I didn't see him fall over personally, but I knew looking back at the video before, you know, before anything else like went down. I think he may have seen it go down, but like actually before, I didn't even have to go back in the video. Like me panning with the deer, I could see the blood and where he hit it. I was like,
yeah, this deer,
80 yards, 100 yards done. You know, track job's gonna be easy. Blood's on both sides. You know, it's just gonna.
I don't know. There's just something about like, and there's something just about like producing quality video or like that you've taken to, or like as a whole, that's just cool.
And like when he shot it, I might have been more excited than he was.
Right.
I mean, I was stoked. You know, they get all these pictures of the deer,
right,
and here he is at 8 yards.
Yeah.
And he just center punches. Like my mind was blown. I didn't know what to say.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely cool, and it's also really cool to like some of the stuff that we've gotten out there these days, to where, like I said, for nothing big or anything, but there's a lot of people that, you know, you'll go places, or I'll go somewhere and they'll be like, hey man, that video was really cool, or like, hey, that's pretty damn, you know, I seen that turkey you killed last week, or that's pretty cool. I just like love the people that we've gotten to like know or meet, and the things that, you know, just like, as you can tell, I love talking about hunting. And I could sit here and talk about hunting and different things all night, but it's just the people that I've gotten to like know or meet, and all because of, you know, we would have never been here if we didn't just start videoing our stuff and just working towards being better.
And didn't have a passion for it.
Yeah, and didn't have a passion for it. Like I said, not only we're not like you were saying earlier, we're not videoing stuff to be like, oh, we need to video this so we can try to get something free or something, whatever. Like, yes, there's some things that we have received or whatever, but I will say I've spent by far way more money on all my camera stuff and all the money that I have invested that I may never get out of it. Like, I'm by far not sitting here being like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm making good money. Like, no, I'm not at all.
Yeah, and I mean, the videos aren't, you know, making us money.
No.
But it's more or less the memories that you can go back on just because you got it on film.
Yeah, and that's what we love to do, especially like, say, the video of Deuce. Like, I don't know how many people have been like, hey, show them that video, or like just the quality and like the video itself, like it's pretty damn cool. Like that's just something that, you know, if Brady was hunting by himself and he shot that deer, and
kind of like you with Gimpy, or
like we won't even get to that. I hunted all year with, like I always say, a cameraman. Me and Brady hunted all year together videoing. The only day that for whatever reason Brady decided let's just split up, the weather wasn't that great. It was more of a scouting mission. Just, hey, go out, you know, we're not sitting where these big deer we think they're going to be. Like, we're just more or less sitting where the weather's right, trying to get eyes on them, and then we'll get back together, because we weren't having a whole lot of luck. I go out and shoot 174 and shoot. Brady wasn't even with me. He wasn't even to the stand yet. I was there like 5 minutes and called him.
Yeah. Where was I?
Yes. Well, you were.
No, I was camping. No.
Yes, you were up there hunting. You weren't. You were up around there. Yeah. Yes. 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 You were close, but I know where. We won't exactly say, but I know where you were.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's just, which, don't get me wrong, killing a big deer like that, I was completely stoked, but there was still a part of me that was like, damn, if I could have just killed this on video, you know, like there's still a part of you that's missing. Like, it's not, to me anymore, it's not like everything's filled until it's like, you know, and I'm not to tell you though that, since we're like not making money and stuff on it, even if Brady was with me and he was like, no, I can't get it on, like, I can't get the shot, or like, I can't see him or whatever, and there's only like, I got one shot at him or whatever, I'm not going to pass a 107-inch deer because we can't get it on video.
Oh,
like,
picture's better than nothing.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to, you know, if we were making money, it would be a different story. You know, possible.
Well, if we were making money, you would have had a camera guy with you regardless.
Right. But we're not, and
I mean, Jeff should have came around a little sooner.
Yeah, damn it. But it's just fault, you could have seen 170-inch deer die that night. But it's same with turkeys. Like, they're wild animals. Like, we're not gonna be able to go out every time and they're gonna read the script perfectly, or you're gonna be able to be like, hey deer, we're videoing over here. Fucking give us better video. You know what I mean? Like, they're wild deer. Like, you're talking about killing a big deer is hard enough, and then let alone putting someone else with you to video it. Like, it's not easy. But so I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to like save a deer's life. I mean, if I'm given the opportunity and we can't video it, like, I'm still going to full send it, especially on a deer that I'm been chasing for a while. But it's just kind of one of those things that, like, it happens. Not every hunt is going to be the best video, but we're trying to be the best we can about what we can get. You know, there's plenty of hunts like Deuce's hunt. You couldn't have literally wrote it up any better, and the video is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't have been any better. And that's just, some of them hunts are going to be like that. Some of them aren't. But to be able to do the best we can to get the best we can every time is kind of what we try to do, or what we're, you know, going for.
Yep. Well, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's getting 10:20.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, go ahead.
All right. Well, I guess until the next one, we ought to have a full house next time.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully.
Jeff, you'll have to come back in on some Tuesdays. Typically, we're always on Tuesdays, so have to have you back in, especially when we have a full house or have a different guest on. Just sitting around. I mean, there's always mics open, so if you ever on a Tuesday night just want to come sit in or listen to someone, have a few beers, whatever,
more than welcome.
Yeah, come by anytime. We appreciate you coming over tonight, and we look forward to hopefully getting on some hunts, getting some video, seeing what we can do together.
I'm excited. This industry, there's a lot of people that do this, but I think there's also a big audience for it too.
Yeah.
So I think if we get on some great opportunities, like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm really thankful to be here and just experience all of it. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we're gonna have a good time, and hopefully we can wrap some tags around a main beam.